So hello everyone, welcome to this another video of Spring Rest playlist. I'm Abhishek Verma and in today's video we are going to learn about an advanced Spring Rest topic, and that is actuators. Now the question is, why do we need actuators? So let's say that I ask you, provide me the list of all the mappings available in your application. Now when I say mappings, I mean to say all the different URLs available in your application. Provide me that list with the help of another URL. Or I ask you the details of all the beans which are getting created in your Spring Boot application. Or I just ask you that how much memory your application is consuming, which are the various resources it is making usage of. Now in that case, I'm actually trying to ask you more metrics about your application. Now you will say that, okay Abhishek, it's not a big issue. We will create some get endpoint and that will provide you this information. But it's not only about creating the get endpoint. Within that you need to write a lot of business logic also to provide all these details. So what if I tell you that all these things can be available automatically with the help of Spring Rest using actuators? Isn't it interesting? So in today's video, we are going to learn about these actuators only. So without wasting any more time, let's directly get started and see how the things are going to look like. So now we are in the IDE, and before we start with our today's demo, first of all, let's do a quick recap and see what we did in the previous demo number 10. For this, we will go here and I'll go to this UML diagram. Now here, if you see that we were having the demo class, which was just containing the main method. Then we were having controller, service, repository, controller advice, exceptions, interfaces, entity classes, DTO classes, and so many more things. Okay. Already we are in demo number 11 today. And this is the recap of demo number 10. So I don't think so there is any more benefit on going detail to each and every class, the same script. Yeah. So what I'll directly do is I'll go to this particular controller class. And here let's see what we did. So in the last video, we saw that by default, the Spring Rest is always going to support the JSON input and JSON output. But beside this, we can also get the input in the XML format. Also, we can provide the output in the XML format. For this, if you want to do it dedicatedly, then first of all, wherever you want to consume, you need to say consumes and XML. Same way, whenever you are producing, then also you need to say XML. Now, if you are not going to tell, then by default, it is going to support JSON only. Yeah. Then beside this, there was one more small thing that you need to go to your DTO classes, and in all your DTO classes, you need to add the annotation JSON XML root element. So this annotation is required so that it should be able to convert your JSON data to the XML data. Beside this, in the pom.xml also, if you remember, we added one simple dependency, and that was JSON data format XML. So these three things are required: dependency, then in all your DTO classes, where you are going to accept the input, you are going to provide the output, you mention the JSON XML root element annotation, and in your controller. So you need to tell what you wish to consume and what you wish to produce. If you will say, what if I want to accept or produce JSON also along with XML? I mean, depending on the requirement. So in that case, what you can do is, instead of just mentioning one single value, you can mention multiple values, like here we did. So here I'm producing XML also, I'm producing JSON also. And then you will say that, okay, how we will control at which time XML will come, at which time JSON will come. So that you can see in your Postman. For this, I won't be showing you here because that we already did in the previous video, and you can watch that one if you have missed. Now let's move on towards our today's demo, that is demo number 11, and let's see how we can implement actuators. So first of all, as of now, in the pom.xml, there is no change. It's a same basic pom.xml which we were using in the previous demos also. So we are having a starter, we are having a web, we are having data JPA, MySQL, Lombok, and Maps, all these things. Yeah. Then what we will do is, first of all, let me just simply execute the application to show you what are the things we are available as of now. And beside this, also let me go to this particular controller. I will go here and somewhere here. So you see that as of now, I'm just having only one single URL here, that is /owners, which is going to provide me a list of owners. So I will go to my Postman And here, as you see, that I have already created demo number 11. So in this, I'm just having one simple API because only this is available in my code. And here I don't need these headers, so I can go to this body. Yeah. So here, let's say send, and here you see that we are getting the data in the output. So we are getting all these 72 owners, and there is nothing new in this particular part. Okay. This was only to show you that, okay, this is how it is working as of now. Then now what I will do is we will go back here, and or first of all, let me just go again here. What I'll do that from here, let me just duplicate it. So I will say it like this, duplicate. And in the second one, instead of owners, what I will do is I will say here actuator, something like this. Let's say if something is going to appear or not. So as of now, it says that, okay, there is nothing like this actuator. It's a no static resource actuator, and nothing is available in this particular one. Okay. Because as of now, we didn't add it. So now what we will do is that we will go to this pom.xml, and here we are going to add a new dependency. For this, we will just click on this one, and here let's just hope it will come. Yeah, so it came here, and here I'm going to say as actuator, something like this. So when I say actuator, you see I'm getting one option of Spring Boot actuator, another option of this Spring Boot admin. As of now, let's focus on actuator, and let me just say next here. Then again, I got something like this, and you remember last time I was getting confused in this, that how to resolve this issue. So now I learned this also. So what we'll do is that step by step you can select which part you wish to keep. So as of now, it says there are 6 differences, because so many extra things like licenses, URL, developers I removed from my pom.xml. That's why it is showing again. So what we can do is we can go step by step. So we will click on this, and now it will show me the next difference, that is licenses. This also I don't need. Let's go for the next one, SCM. This also I don't need. Next one, this is the actuator dependency, and now this I need. So what I'll do is I will keep it selected, and here I will click on move it from left to right. So I will do it something like this, and let me just do it. Yeah, so I guess it is moved, and now if we see here, so you can see that this actuator is appearing here. Now let's go for the next one. So after this, it says test. We don't want it as of now because I'm not going to test anything. And yeah, that's it. So these were the only things. So you see that out of these 6 differences, I have added only the actuator part, and this can be done easily. Let's click on finish, and here if you see, so we are getting Spring Boot starter actuator as the dependency. Let me just close it something like this, or let me just restart it like this. Yeah. So what I did as of now, just added the actuator dependency and nothing much. And now let's see whether we will get some output or not. So again, we will go here, and let me just again click on send. So now you see that when I'm clicking on send, I'm getting these 3 output. So you see, besides adding the dependency, I didn't added anything extra. And this is the by default term. So a localhost colon 8080, that was my base URL. And after this, I just need to say /actuator, and that's it. Then it will tell you that by default with this, there are these 3 different URLs. So let's click on this first one, and it will automatically open in the next step. So this first one is the same actuator only, which I was clicking. So again, if I will click, it will provide me the same thing only. So what we'll do is let's click on this next one, health. And for this, let me just, so that it doesn't open so many tabs here. So I will just say health here in this particular way. So you see that when I'm saying health here, it is saying me status up. Yeah. And that is so obvious. I mean, what it is trying to tell you, it is trying to tell you that, okay, the status of your application is up. You will say, okay, Abhishek, that's too obvious. I mean, we are able to hit this API only when our application is up. If it would have been down, we won't even be able to edit or access this particular one. So in that case, there is no usage of it. Okay, no worries. Let's see the another one. So another one was, if you see, it says health, and then it says some path or like this. But as of now, we are not clear for this particular one. Okay. So what we are going to do is we are going to add some more data here. For this, we obviously need to go back into this particular one. And now the next thing is that we need to go here in our application.properties. And now after a very long time, we are going to edit our properties file. So here, let's try to add some more information. So first of all, what I will do is I will say here management, something like this. And here I'm going to say endpoint in this particular way. Then I'm going to say health. And then I'm going to say show details in this particular way like this. And here I will be saying as always. So there can be multiple values like never, when authorized, always, or something like this. So what happens is that this is going to be your actuator data. I mean, some more information about your application. So if you wish, as a good practice also, you should not make these things as public. Instead, it should be like only the authorized person should be able to see. Otherwise, someone simply just say /health and they will see all the information about your application. So that should not happen. Yeah? So, but as of now, we are not going to see the authorization because that is a part of Spring Security. We will do in the Spring Security playlist, but I'm not sure that I will be making that playlist or not. The chances are that I'm not going to make that playlist. Yeah. The reason is obvious. You are very clear. What's the reason of it? Okay. I don't think so. I need to tell about you the reason. So now let's again go back here. And first of all, let's hit. So this actuator is still same. But now if I'm going to say here as health, HEALTH. I mean, it's better to click on that. Okay. So now if I say health, now you see I'm getting much more details. Now it's not only saying status up, but it is also saying that, okay, you are making usage of MySQL. Queries are validated, everything is fine, and status is up for that. Besides this, it says that disk space is also up here. Then here it says that currently your this demo number 11 is in this folder within the workspace, Spring REST, real demos, D drive, it's there. This is the total space available. This is the free space available. And this is the threshold limit. So let's say that, okay, we are not going to have too much space here. Then in that case, I'm assuming that this will provide me as down. Besides this, it will tell me that, okay, there is a ping status and that is also up as of now. SSL is also up and all these details it is providing me. Yeah. So this information we just got just by adding one simple line in the properties file. Yeah. Now let's go back to this particular one or somewhere here. And what we will do is, again, let me just go for this particular as actuator. Now you see actuator is still providing me these three things only, nothing much. So what we will do is, let's add few more data here. So after this, what I will do here is that I'm going to add another one, and that will be management. And okay, let me not add here, let me add below so that you can remember the sequence in which we added the things. So here, let me go, and here I'm going to say management again, and this time I'm going to say endpoints in this particular way. Let's say web, and here I'm going to say exposure, and here I'm going to say include equals to star. Okay. So what happens is that by default, it is going to show you those three URLs only. Out of them, first URL was the self URL only. Okay, so there is nothing much in that. But now let's see what is going to be the change when we have added something like this. Yeah. So here we will again go back to this particular one, and let's again restart the application. And this time, let's see the changes, what is going to happen. So again, we are here, and let's go to this one, and let's again click on send. So now also we are getting 3. I guess there is some mistake I have done. This is management and this is endpoints. This is web. This is exposure. It says what it is saying. It says management endpoints web exposure is an unknown property. I guess I have made a spelling mistake here, but okay. Here I have missed the D. I mean, that's a simple mistake. No? Okay, so I have missed D. Let me again try to click something like this. So you see these kind of mistakes keeps on happening. I mean, that's not an issue, but it was actually trying to tell me with that particular yellow line, but it was just my bad only that I skipped that particular part. So let's again go here and click on send. Now you see instead of 3, we are getting many more links here. Then first one is simple actuator only. Next one, it is trying to tell me there are beans also. Okay, so if we click on this particular one and then we click on hit, so then it is going to tell you that which all beans got created within your application. Not only the beans related to your classes, but even the default beans related to JPA, related to REST, related to concurrency, and all these things, it is going to provide you the details here. You may say that, okay, as of now, what I will do by all this information? But my main goal is to tell you that these actuators are going to provide you the information. So the point is not what you will do as of now with this information. The point is what you have done to get this information. Nothing much, just adding a dependency and one simple line in your properties file. Yep, that's the main point here to look for. The next thing is, you see that we can get some cache information also. So if I will click on this and I will say something like this, then it will say it depends. So like for the health you saw, by default it was just providing us some simple data, but then we added one more property, so it used to start providing us much more data. So that is going to happen. Okay, so what I will do is that instead of clicking on each and every one, let me go for this particular info. Okay, I'll just show you only few of them. So let's go to this particular info, and here you see for info, by default again it is not providing me much information here. Okay, but it can provide you more information. For this, we just need to go here, and what we are going to do is, again, we need to add few more things. So for this here, first of all, I will be saying as management, and then I'm going to say info, and then I will be saying here env, and then we need to say enabled equals to true, something like this. Okay, so this is the one, and now you see there is no yellow line, which means it's the right one. So this, so now we have enabled the values from the inform. Yeah, now within this we need to provide some value also. So here we can say app name, something like this. So in this app name, I wish to keep this name as it is. So what I will do is, if I wish, I can just write it again, or otherwise I can just simply say it like this. Here I will say it like this. I will provide values and this. Okay, just making usage of the variable. You can provide more information also. It is your choice, whatever you wish to provide here. That is my only goal. So like here, I also wish to say that, okay, please subscribe this channel if you want me to keep on creating videos for you for free. Otherwise, if you are not going to support, I mean, there is no benefit of making these videos if you guys are not watching. So now let me go back again here and click on this. Yeah. So you see here, we just added these two values, and I said env enabled. Yeah. Now let's go back again here, and for this info again I will say send. So this time you will see whatever I added there I said info.app.name. So this info is because of this word, and then app.name. Now since we said app.name, then it automatically made a JSON something like this. For message, I directly said info.message. So then it is showing me like this. So this way, whatever the extra information you wish to add, you wish to show to your users, you wish to show to your, I mean, whosoever is your subscribers, clients, you can show it in this particular way. Yeah, this was about the default actuators. But can we make our own custom actuators also? Because trust me, this is also an interesting question. And when it was asked from me for the first time, I wasn't able to answer that, okay, can we make? Because I knew that yes, we can make, but exactly how to make, I wasn't sure. But it was asked me in one of the interviews. So now you don't need to face that kind of scenario. What we will do is we will create a custom actuator also. Okay, so that we can make our own thing and everything. Yeah. So for this, we will again just go somewhere here, and I'm going to say a new, I will say a class here, and here I'm going to say custom info actuator. Now this is your choice, whatever the name you wish to keep, it's not an issue here. So we will be saying it like this, and here let me say in this way. I mean, the package's name should be good, guys. Yeah. So now we have created this custom custom info actuator. Now, first of all, as always, we need to create a bean for this. Now, this is not a service. This is not a repository. This is not even your controller. So for this, we will be just making usage of this component like this. And here it doesn't need to be two. It needs to be @component. So here I will be saying it like this, and component. Yeah. So now the bean will be created. Now this time I want to make it as an actuator. So whenever you want to make it as an actuator, then you need to make usage of the annotation endpoint. Yeah, this is the annotation, and this annotation you will get only by adding that particular dependency. Now within this, again, you can provide something like what is going to be the URL for that actuator. So by default, you were seeing that here, whenever we used to hit, it was after actuator info, or after actuator it was cache, after actuator it was beans, after actuator it was somewhere as health. But what should be the URL of your actuator? So that is the thing. So here I will be saying something like this, and here I'm going to say custom, and here I'm going to say info. So for me, I wish to have it as custom info. Yeah. Now the thing is, what do you want to provide? So in the reality, it completely depends on your project, guys. Okay. First question is, do you want a custom actuator or not? If you feel there is no need of a custom actuator, the default actuators are enough to provide you the information. Then you don't need to create a custom one. Okay. So you saw here that I just wanted some information. So we can add it something like this, and that is fine for me. But you say, no, I don't want to hit /info. I want to hit /custom info, and then I want to get the information. Then you obviously need to go for these custom actuators. So what we are going to do here is that we will be adding some methods here so that it can show you that from how much time my application is up. Only something like this. Okay. So I'm going to say here public, and then I'm going to say here string. And within this, I will be saying get uptime. So this actuator will basically tell me from how much time my application is up. Okay. And within this, we can provide a very simple logic. So let me just copy and paste somewhere here. And beside this, what I will also do is that on the top, I will be providing these two as extra variables. Yep. So now what it is basically doing, first of all, we have created a variable start time. So whenever your application is going to start, this particular code will get started, and it will find what is the time at which the application was started. Now, whenever you are going to invoke this method and the value of this display uptime, which is by default true. So what it will do is it will find the current time, subtract start time from it, and then it will tell you that, okay, the application is up since these many minutes and these many seconds. If this is hours, then that also you can change. In case this value is not enabled, then it will show you uptime tracking is disabled. Now the question is how to call it. So for this, should we say get mapping? Because here we are just trying to get the data. The answer is no. Here the thing is you need to make usage of read operation. And that's what I was trying to say, that when it was asked me in the interview, I wasn't able to answer, because at that time my thinking was same, that okay, I don't need to make usage of custom actuators in my project. So why should I learn for this? Okay. So it should never happen. You should be learning new things whenever possible. Yeah. And whenever someone is trying to explain you for free with these latest demos, then I guess what's the harm in learning new things? Yeah. So now we are getting something like this. Let's again go back here, and instead of this health, what I will do is this time I'm going to see here custom info. Yeah. And it was read operation, which is by default get only. So here we are going to say like this. So you say it is going to tell me application is up since 0 minutes and 17 seconds. If we will click again, so it will say 25 seconds, because it will keep on incrementing. Okay. After 1 hour, if you are going to hit, it may say that, okay, these many minutes, these many seconds, because I haven't added the hour part here. But the point is, every time it is saying me this only. Okay. In between, I also want to say that, okay, sometimes I should not be able to track this information. Okay. So for this, what I will do is that I will be adding one more method here. So in this one, what we will do is we will say toggle uptime tracking. So user should be able to provide some action. I mean, it must be some authorized person if we are implementing security. Then if the person says enable in the action, then in that case, it will still be enabled, and we will say that, okay, uptime tracking is already enabled. If the person says disable, then it will say uptime tracking is disabled. And then if someone will hit get uptime, then they won't be able to see the data. And instead they will see uptime tracking is disabled, something like this. And in case person is going to provide anything else besides enable or disable, they will get this particular as the error message here. Okay. Now for this, what to do? Now this time you see that for this, what we can use, should we be using read operation? The answer is no. I mean, although there is no harm if you will still make usage of read operation, but trying to see here, you are trying to make a change you are trying to write something. Okay, so when we are trying to write something, what we will do is here we are going to say write operation, something like this. So instead of read operation, this time it is going to be write operation. But then how it is going to accept this string? For this, what we should do? Should we say @path variable, matrix variable, or request param, or what? The answer is here the annotation is different, and here we call it as selector. Okay, so this is the thing, guys. We call it as selector. Okay, and yeah, so this was the part. Now let's again go back here and click on something like this. So again, let's see what it is going to do. So this time I have said it like this and it has started. So let's go back again here. First of all, again, let's see. So now it says 5 seconds, obviously because I have restarted the app. Yeah, so that's why again it is going to start the time. Now what we will do is after this, I'm just going to say here disable. Okay, like this, disable, and then instead of get, this time it is needs to be post. So whenever it is write operation, it needs to be post here. Okay, now let's see. So now it says uptime tracking is disabled. Now let's again go back to this particular one and say here get. So now whenever you are hitting this one, it says uptime tracking is disabled. But is it still working or not? Let's check out. So what we will do is again we will say here post, and here I'm going to say enable this time. Yeah, I mean this is your choice. Yeah, enable, disable. So now it will say you enabled. Now let's again go back to this particular as get, and here let's try to hit. So now it says 57 seconds. So you see, although it was not showing you the data in between, but it was still counting the things. Okay, so that was still working fine. The only thing you were doing is whether to show the data or not to show the data. Now next requirement is, what if I want to delete that particular amount, that I just want to delete that. Okay, what was the start time? Okay, so how to delete? Obviously we won't be able to delete the variable completely. Okay, but what we can delete is we can delete the history. So I will create a new method here, and in this one I will say reset the uptime tracking. So whenever you are going to call it, what it will actually do is it will change the value of your start time. The moment you are going to call it, that will become the next value of your start time. Okay, it's a kind of a delete only. Okay, now for this, if you wish, you can again say write operation, but my goal is to show a new annotation, and that is going to be delete operation, something like this. So here we will be saying delete operation. So this is how it is going to look like. Again, if you wish, you can accept some arguments here. That's not an issue. Here my goal whenever I create such demos is to show you that okay, all these things exist, so that whenever you go for an interview, then you need that okay, what all things are possible, what is the thing. Okay, and whenever you need it in your actual real-time production application, then obviously you will be able to use those things. Okay, so here this is the way, and let's click on this one. So now it says 17 seconds. Afterwards, let's again say 20 seconds. It says 22 seconds, 23, and so on. So you see it is working fine. Now what I will do is I will go for this delete, and then I will say it like this. Now it will say 204 no content and automatically deleted. Let's go back to get here, and now you see again it has started from these 5 seconds or that. Okay, that means we were able to change the start time. Yeah, and this was just one example. This way you can do whatever you wish, and you can create your custom actuators also. Next interesting thing, if you notice here, is that here I was not returning anything like a response entity or so. I was just returning a string. And another part was that whenever I was hitting this particular one as delete, like for get and everything, it was saying me 200 okay. But for this delete, it was automatically saying me 204 no content. Okay, so that also I don't need to change anywhere. The point is that actuators by default work with your these JSON and XML data only. Okay, so here there is no point of returning the UI thing or anything like this. Okay, they only work with the JSON data, and hence just by saying string, it is going to work for you. You don't need to make it as a response entity or something like this. That is not needed. Next thing is you also don't need to change or customize the status code, because that also will happen automatically depending on your operation. Next thing is you will say that okay, Abhishek, what if we need to provide a big body in the input? First of all, the thing is we should not provide a big body in these kind of scenarios. Okay, I mean, there is no benefit of it. These are the actuators. You just want it to make some kind of actions like this. Okay, it is not going to save somewhere in your database. It is just going to be your in the memory only. Okay, so that is the thing. Always the inputs are going to be simple only. If possible, you can take multiple selectors in the input. Okay, and then it can be like a map kind of a thing you can do, where it is a key and a value. So you can provide, let's say, two selectors, and one can be your key, another can be your action. So it can be looked something as this particular one, so like this, and here let me say as key. Okay, so here I can say key here. So now what I will do is I will provide a key also, I will provide a value also here, and this value will get saved in this particular key. Yeah, that obviously you just need to code, but the only thing is we need to make usage of this selector annotation here. Yeah, and that was all about Actuator, guys. I hope you find it helpful. Now you will say that, okay, Abhishek, that is fine, but for these extra data, like for this particular, like for this one we saw, I mean, isn't it possible to see in this a UI format? Because just reading something like this is very odd. I mean, so much amount of information. The answer is yes, that is also possible. So if you wish, you can see all this data along with the UI also. Okay, but for that we need to do few more extra things. Okay, and we need to add something as Spring admin. Okay, so there is something like Spring Boot admin, that kind of thing which we needs to add. But I will only add, because again, adding all this and creating a demo along with that also will take more time. So only if this video will get 1,000 views, then only I will make that video. Otherwise, by default, I'm not having any plans to add that particular extra topic in this particular playlist. Okay, but if you want me to add that extra topic also in this playlist at the end of Spring Boot admin, you need to comment also, and you need to ensure this video gets 1,000 views, at least 1,000 views. Okay, I mean, that is up to you how you will do. Okay, I hope you find it helpful. If yes, do like the video and share with your friends, and see you in the next video. Bye.